Well, good evening, everyone. And oh, blimey, he's going for it. One day you're going to do that. And you're going to go base over Apex. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Studio Rats live Q&A number 139. My name's James Ivy.
I'm Paul Drew.
And you are all very welcome to our weekly gathering of music and genius and, well, I don't know
Genius?
Where that's going.
Well, I'm not sure there's any genius going on.
Music and genius and guitars and love and stuff.
Oh, yes.
You are all very welcome. There's loads of people in already, loads of questions coming in, which is great, and stuff like that. But it is tradition to start with the, start of the show. Mr. Drew, what have you been up to?
I've been having a big sale of equipment, which has been good. Well, which hasn't been good because I don't want to sell it, but it's stuff that I'm not using as much, and I've decided that I don't need as many guitars as what I've got. So I've sold a bunch of guitars and gear and speakers and all that sort of stuff. And yes. So, and then I'll once I'm in the new house and things are sorted, I'll start sort of bringing up the collection again. But I did realize that I've got just had an abundance of guitars that is a little bit excessive.
That you don't play.
Well, not that I don't play, but it's just, they might get pulled out every now and again, which is nice to have. You know what I'm saying? It's just
I do.
Yeah. So I've got.
It's like hanging your art on the wall, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I felt like a bit of a PRS user, like where you've got like a bunch of guitars on the wall, and you just don't play them because they're. So yes, I've still got a load of guitars that I don't need, but I don't.
A load.
Well, I've got so electrics 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 electrics.
Wow, and you've sold a lot.
I've done 3 guitars this week. I've sold 3 guitars. So what's gone? So the my Fender Nocaster has gone. Which my thin line Nocaster, which was a great guitar. Do you know what? When I put that on eBay, and I was almost like I was just about to take it off, and then it sold.
Right.
It's one of those things.
Yeah.
So that went my Les Paul, my 57 Les Paul,
right,
with humbuckers, that's gone, and my Ash Strat, my custom shop Strat,
right,
it's gone. So
the last 2 I'm not surprised about because you weren't. The Les Paul was a great guitar, but I think you bought that not on a whim, but I was going to buy something else, but I bought this instead.
Yes, it was a bit like that.
I'm
great guitar.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, it was a really good guitar. Yeah, and then I sold my Grossman, my Silent Cab. That got picked up yesterday by a very nice chap, and a couple of speakers. Like little Celestion. I've got a couple of Celestion speakers. I've still got one left. I've still got a Celestion Gold that I'm going to be getting rid of. And yeah, just bits and pieces. Just lots going out.
Cool. Very cool.
How about yourself?
Well, we had 2 days of drum recording last week, which was great. Kev's mic collection is just epic. And Kurt was here to capture it all, which was really handy. Friday. Did something on Friday. Can't remember. Weekend was family and stuff because I was just saying before we went on air, the next 5 weeks I'm away from home. Then I got a weekend at home, and then another 3 weeks after that I'm away. So, which has not been popular, as you can probably imagine. But I have to work. So
yeah,
it's one of those things. And then this week, been kind of catching up and getting ready for this weekend because there's quite a lot of stuff. We're all up in Manchester. With you, me, Greg, and Timothy are all up in Manchester cheering. And like you, I've been having a bit of a clear out and a sell off of stuff. Although it doesn't look like it right now. The TSL's gone.
Oh, did you get a good price for that?
I made 35-40% on it.
Hey, that's all right. I think you're going to say 35-40 quid. That's all right.
About 70-80 quid made on it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because there wasn't much in it anyway, but I didn't lose. Sold the Marshall Acoustic. That went for actually nearly twice what I paid for it.
That's crazy because who buys those?
I sold the Valve stack.
Oh
for
my word!
Twice what I paid for twice what I paid for it.
Do you know what? The Valve state's going to be one of those new modern classics, isn't it? Where Joe Bonamassa is going to play one, and then they're just going to be
with his Epiphone. I've had the word back about the DSL head.
Oh yeah, go on. What's the deal?
Fuse blew.
Boom. Nice.
So that was that. That'll be on Fleabay fairly shortly. But the Music Man head is all sorted.
Do you know what? We should have checked that. That should have been something that we checked.
I think it was an internal fuse, not an not an external fuse. The Music Man was a 65 quid. Squirt. Check a few things over. Job's done. Fantastic. That'll be back next week, so that can join the. I think so. Yeah, I really like it. I've got two sort of Fender-esque style amps. I don't really have that sound, so I'll keep it for that.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm still debating whether to keep the Gretsch kit or not.
Oh right. Is there a doubt in that?
Only money at the moment.
Right. And how many drums is it?
3.
So it's 3. Okay.
But it's like buying a vintage guitar. It's not going to go down in value.
You might as well buy it if it's worth what you're going to pay for it.
Yeah,
I think you should. I think you should buy it because, as you say, it's one of those things that doesn't go down in value. That's fantastic.
And it is a cool, and it's a cool thing to have in the studio. It's another. When all said and done, I am a drummer.
Yeah. Do you like the sound of it?
Yeah, I love it. It sounds like it's totally different to what I normally play.
Right.
But it's so cool. If you didn't, how there's a thing live that all sound engineers have to make a bass drum as loud as it can possibly be in a mix.
Yeah.
Right. Now I don't understand that, because surely to me the thing that should be the loudest is the vocal. Should be the loudest thing in the mix. Right. This kit has this. You could make it as loud as you possibly want the kick drum. It still would never make that modern PA sound.
Yeah. Okay.
It could not do that. There's no way it would make that sound. It sounds like a vintage drum kit because guess what? It is.
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason to buy it. I just need to persuade Jen that I need to buy it.
Just sell some stuff.
That's kind of what I'm doing. And the big news is the 6-year experiment is coming to an end. I just can't do it. I'm not a Windows user.
Oh, mate, you're not wrong there. Just bin that thing. Absolutely. Well, I don't get it. Every time I use a Windows machine, I just go, what is going on here?
So the thing is, 6 years ago, there wasn't a computer available that did what it does.
Right.
But now I've got that power in a laptop.
Yeah. Been out.
And my actual use case hasn't changed that much for it. It's just that, when we did the drum recording video, I worked out there's 12 cameras running all at 4K.
Jeez.
Now, this thing, 2021 M1 MacBook Pro, eats it for dinner.
Yeah, sure. The only thing is, I'd say at the moment you're looking a little bit grainy. I don't know what's going on there.
That's because I'm on the thingy camera. The eyesight camera.
Yeah, but mine doesn't look like that, does it?
No, but you're not on the eyesight camera.
No, that's true. Okay, fair enough. Fair do. Yeah, but you normally look much better than that.
Well, thank you very much. I feel a bit grainy, if I'm honest. If that helps. But yeah, so been a good week. Yeah, sounds like we're both doing a similar sort of thing. I've had a few other eBay issues, but nothing major. Yeah. Should we carry on? Should we crack on with the show as it is? We should start this way.
Mr. Kearney says, Neil says, hi fellas from Kangaroo Island, South. Oh, that sounds nice, doesn't it? I've watched every episode since the beginning. Wanted to let you know that you have Aussie supporters outside Brisbane. Cheers, Neil. That's very nice, mate. Hold on a sec. What guitar has he got there? Oh, what's that thing? What is that?
I don't know.
It looks something fancy. Well, cheers, Neil. That's very nice of you, mate.
Very, very kind. Right. Boom. Here we go.
Strongbow11 says, I'm trying to find your demo using the katana in the rat effects.
I'm not sure what that means.
I'm guessing using the rat effects inside the katana. Maybe the other way around. You should. Maybe that's your problem. Maybe you're typing the wrong thing. A Strongbow. Push. Yeah. Surely you can go on YouTube. You can go to the Studio Rats and then search. Just push rat. Yeah. Just go to the Studio Rats channel and type in rat. Rat. Rat katana or something like that. I'm sure you'll find it, Strongbow.
Yeah.
I've definitely done one. Eric says, Warrington, hey guys, hi everyone. Hi, Eric. K Michael P's in the house. He said, howdy boys. Howdy K Michael P. And girls.
Girl, I think it is closer, isn't it?
Daniel says, good evening, rats, from a sunny and warm 21 degrees in North Carolina. It's always sunny over there, isn't it?
It is.
I think
to be fair, it's not been bad here today.
God, it's been great, isn't it?
For February, it's been really rather nice.
Really nice, yeah. I sat outside in a t-shirt. It's great.
Well, I've been looking at the solar meter, going, "Come on!"
Yeah. All right. 20 degrees in Florida. Nice. Davor says, hi, pressed the like button before the stream started. No risk, no fun. Cheers, Davor. Yes, give us a like, people. It really does help. Thank you. Chemical P, 28 degrees. It's changed.
It's gone up.
It's just changed.
Well, that's global warming.
It's gone down, isn't it? Wasn't it 30?
Don't know. We should say at this point, do you know if you're coming yet? To All Things NAMM?
I still don't know. I won't know until middle of March.
There will be a Studio Rats gathering in a bar somewhere near the convention center at some point. So any or all of you who are coming to NAMM, even if you're not actually coming to the show, but you're in Southern California and you can get there for an evening, come and have a drink with us. I'm pretty sure Paul will be there. We just need to persuade him. But yeah, it'd be good to have a rat hang, a rat out. No, maybe not a rat out. That's not quite so right, is it? Yeah, moving on.
Don't rack your brain now, mate. It's too. Jeff says, good morning from sunny Brisbane. Hope everyone's well, including peeps from Kangaroo. Right. Mr. Moxie's in there. Said, hello both. Hello, Pet. He's changed his picture again. Look at this.
Oh, sorry.
He's changed his picture again. Look at him. Look at him doing the.
He looks like. He's
having a pout, isn't he?
Yeah. A power pack.
I like it. Hello both. Hello, Mr. Moxie. David Ashcroft says, hi, David. Chris Williams, good evening, rats and ratesses. Evening, Chris. Mendel Rocks, evening, everyone. Evening, Mendel. Tone Dragon. He says, greeting, gents from Alberta.
Alberta.
I knew that was going to happen. Got some custom gravity picks about a week before your video came out, Paul. Damn, you know I want a Highland pick. Those gravity picks are amazing, though. They're nice, aren't they? Those gravity picks. They're nice until until you spend sort of a tenner on them, and then, well, not a tenner, but a fiver, and then you realise after a couple of weeks they've worn out. That's the only thing about them, I think. But I really like the sound of them.
Stuff does wear out.
Yes, Well, not Highland picks.
That is true. I did a video yesterday using Highland
Right.
picks, and it was with the Jaguar through a kind of a fairly sort of ambient EFX chain, using the Steve Vai module in the Synergy, the clean channel.
All right.
And I got this really cool kind of ethereal kind of bing 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 going on.
Oh,
But
nice.
sounded really cool with the old 10 pence piece.
Nice. I like that one. I like the 10p ones. Jeff says, he says, hi, I've been a bad lad this week. 2 new guitars.
Woohoo!
Pointy ESP with a Floyd. Then an old JJ Jess. What's a JJ Jess?
I don't know what that is.
I know what JJ Jess is. Not a massive, as in you probably know, Jeff, but I'm not a massive Floyd fan, and I'm not a massive pointy headstock fan. James quite likes a pointy headstock.
It was quite funny because you say I like a pointy headstock, but when Kurt was around, and he's quite a metalhead, he said,
right,
yeah, not many guitars that I would normally be into here.
Really? How interesting. Yeah. How interesting. Yeah, do you know the pointed headstock? The only one I go for now is the Sir with pointy headstocks, and I struggled with that initially, going, oh, I'm not sure, just don't like the headstock, but I sort of got used to it. But that's such a great guitar, though. Says, yeah, let's know what JJ Jess is. Shep says, evening all, evening, Shep. Jewel.
That I think JJ Jess should have been Jewel.
JJ Jewel? I don't know. Still don't know. Still none the wiser.
None the wiser, yeah.
I'd like to know. James says, we love what you guys do. Keep it up. Cheers, James.
Speaking of what we do, that Marshall Katana matchless video, has done
I need to give the results in that, don't I?
Has done 116,000 views.
Damn.
That's been out a couple of 3 weeks, if that.
That would equate to about £10.
£10.
So yeah, I did that's a good point, because I did a video on Monday where I used the same footage again, but I did a test because I was really getting sick of people, and it's so funny. People saying, about the matchless 3D thing, and there was a guy that said yesterday, and he said on the comments, well, if I look for it, I'm not going to find it, am I? But he said something like, oh yeah, the matches, I'd know it a mile off, or whatever. So I said, oh great, go on the new video and let us know which one the matches is. Nothing, absolutely nothing. It's so funny. All the people that got so were so sort of vocal about what they knew each one was didn't really come back.
I think the Marshall does well because the Marshall is such a familiar sound.
Yeah. Now, I think the Marshall did sound great, although I think I don't think I liked it as much soloed. I think it fits really nice in the mix. I think that's the good thing about it.
Yeah, because as we said in the video, that's what those Marshalls did. They sit.
Yeah. So shall I give the results?
Please do.
So example 1 was Katana,
right.
Matchless, then the Marshall.
Right. Katana, Matchless, Marshall.
There was someone that got that right.
Yeah.
I think there was one person. There might be 2. The second example was exactly the same: Katana, Marshall, Matchless, then Marshall.
Yeah.
And then example 3 was Matchless, Katana, Marshall. So I think loads of people got close, but I think it just shows it, and loads of people, were saying, it's how it feels in the room. But I think the Katana feels great to play through because it's
we said that on the Dimed video, didn't we? It was far more under control when you give it the beans. It was far more. I know that's the whole thing about valves. They get out of control and they get wild and they get leery.
Maybe that's what people really like. Yeah.
What's been interesting this week? I've also been out and about doing listening tests for a new thing that I'm working on,
Right.
and getting people to listen to stuff and say, there's no right and wrong. It's what do you like? Which ones do you like? Which ones do you dislike? And people are going, they're all the same. I said, no, they're not. They are all different. I'm not trying to trick. There's no trickery. There's no kind of double bluff or anything like that. There isn't a right and a wrong. It's just which ones do you like? And we're going for the whole. We'll choose the one that most people like.
But you know what? In the pro audio world, there is quite a lot of that where there is literally 1%, 2% difference, and people go absolutely crazy about it. It's classic in the audio in the pro audio world. It's we're like, it's night and day, and it's not night and day, and it doesn't matter anymore. It really doesn't matter.
It's not even 50 shades of grey. It's 500 shades of grey.
Yeah, it's absolutely, yeah. The pro audio world is just known for just like someone
it's nearly as bad as the hi-fi world.
Yes, it is nearly as bad. Yeah, but if someone goes and spends $5,000 on a preamp or whatever, or a microphone, that it's the best thing. It's the best thing you've ever heard, and you actually compare it against something else, and you go, well, that's probably just as good. Anyway,
at this point,
Mr. Olsen, thank you, sir. He said, "Evening legend, something for the Campari Vermouth Fund." That sounds like a nice mixture.
Campari
I might sample.
and vermouth.
That sounds pretty horrible, doesn't it? Actually, but maybe something we try on Saturday night.
Oh God, yeah, maybe. I'm just trying to find. We got up to.
Thank you, David.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much indeed. Do. I think we got to there.
Rock on Gibbo says, "Evening, chaps." He says, "I've recently tried out the IK Tone X plugin. Absolutely fantastic. IK are really onto a winner with this software. Hopefully they get into the hardware market for us all, for all us gigging folk. Hopefully so, mate. Hopefully so." Yes, it's really good, isn't it? It's really, really good.
I haven't tried it yet, but I've been busy with a million other things. So,
and honestly, it's like, why would you go out and buy a Kemper? Why would you go out and buy? I understand why you buy a Quad Cortex, because of the extra effects and stuff in it. But and honestly, if you want to profile amps, there's no need. The software's so good. Mr. Moxie, have some sweets from the powder.
I'm not even sure I know what that means.
He's pouting, isn't he? He's doing his little sexy face.
I thought he's had a bad day.
I see. Very good. Very good. Cheers, Pat.
I've lost again. Here we go. Boom. There we go.
Stefan says, "Good evening, peoples." Evening, Stefan. Mr. McQuillan's in the house. He said, "Good evening, guys. Hope all is well." And to you, David.
Oh!
There we go. Look, it's just like this is a Highland Plectrum Company advertising show, isn't it? Funky Bass UK, a moment's silence in my house for Paul's departed guitars. Oh, thanks, mate. Thank you. Don't worry. There'll be. I don't mind see things like that. There's a couple of guitars that I would never get rid of, but I don't mind about guitars going in and out, because one thing, it creates content for the channel. If I had like a 60s Strat or a 50s Les Paul or something, not that I could afford that, but if I did, then that'd be a different story. But I don't mind about guitars coming in and out, and I'm not like, oh God, I can't believe I sold that guitar. And I think I've maybe been like that once or twice. What's up?
Yeah, I'm just thinking, because I see them differently, and because none of mine are super high end.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I think I'd be more upset about it almost. Get rid of some of these, yeah, because I'm digging into different tones all the time, different sounds, different.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. Yeah, but as long as I've got a Telecaster, as long as I've got something with P90s, as long as I've got a Strat, as long as it's all fine.
Yes. At this point,
Mr. Rock, he says, strictly for the purchase of a bottle of Thunderbird. Cheers, yeah.
God,
probably get a couple of bottles of Thunderbird for that. But thank you very much.
What was that stuff called? Mad Dog 2020.
It's all around the same sort of era.
Oh,
Cheers, Jeff. Mr. Barr's in the house. He said, Paul, will you be sharing the results of the Marshall versus matches versus Katana? I just have, Shahar. I'm sure you heard it. We're probably a little bit behind on the question. Safi. Hi, Safi. He says, evening, gents. Evening, Safi. John Wally's in the house. Afternoon, all. Afternoon, John. Alan says, hi, guys. I've had a bit of a clear out. My son is now the proud, I hope, owner of a Fender Modern Player Telecaster. Nice. And a 1990 Gibson Les Paul. I just had to admit, no,
there's nothing more. Oh,
there you go. I'm not going to be gigging anymore. Oh, mate, that's a shame.
It might come back. It did for me. We've got a gig in about 3 or 4 weeks, haven't we?
Yes.
Yeah, we have. I can't remember where it is, but it's not that far from me. I think I remember.
Safety says, which sample rate do you use for guitars and virtual instruments? Tracking and mixing. I normally 48.
Depends on what the client wants, but often 96 because 1, I can. 2, I think plugins sound better. Certainly when you're doing pitch processing, if you ever need to, plugins sound better at higher sample rates, in my opinion.
There you go. Ned says, hey, I left a super chat about 2 hours before the show, but it's not showing anymore. Ha ha. Oh, cheers, Ned. Nothing's come through, but thank you very much.
It did come through earlier, Ned. If there was a question with it, you need to send it again. Not the money, just the question. Because unless you might fancy it. Because I had to leave the chat, and I think me coming in and going out again is what upset it, which is frustrating. I'm very sorry about that.
Sorry, Ned. For some reason, I don't get any, and I don't see anything that comes in. So, but thank you very much. That's very kind of you, mate. Yes, if there's anything you need to know, get it in, and we'll make that a priority. Max says, evening, chaps. Evening, Max. Phil McNally, evening all. Evening, Phil. Mr. Barr says, I just downvoted, but if you say something like Shahar is awesome, I'll remove it. YouTube bribery. Shahar is awesome.
Yeah, I'll go with that. And he's got great hair.
Yes, got good hair. Yeah. Jeff Rock says, I've got JJ Jewel on eBay this week. I don't know JJ Jewel. 370 squids. I remember lusting after them in the classifieds of guitarists in the early 2000s. Thought I'd had time to tell my wife this is my birthday from her. It came the next day. Let me have a quick look. JJ Jewel guitars.
I bet it's pointing.
Guitars. There's a JJ Jewelers in Bexley Heath. Look. Oh, I remember them. Okay, let me share my.
Yeah. Say when.
Present. Share screen. Entire screen. Here we go.
Oh.
Very PRS-y, isn't it? I don't know if this is the one, but I remember that.
It?
No, I remember that headstock.
That is not unpleasant.
That old headstock there. It's like a PRS, isn't it?
Yeah, PRS meets Eggle meets. Yeah, nice.
Which one did he say he had? Which one?
A Jewel.
Oh, that's nice. I like that one. Oh, the Jewel. Yeah, but it's. Oh, okay. So maybe
the Jewel.
Yeah, maybe the Jewel is that shape. The sort of PRS.
Nice.
Jewel custom. Let's have a look at that.
Not so hot on that one.
Yeah, good. The German carve on it. Let's have a look. Jewel up. That's a Jewel. That's a custom? Let's look at the Ultra. Damn. Gosh, that's got
that is a quoted top.
That's proud about it as well, isn't it? Do you know? Isn't it funny how guitars and tops go in and out of fashion? Like now, that is just not. You never see anything like that apart from on sort of I don't know what sort of British builders, sort of high-end sort of British builders and stuff, but they're not really.
I'm not offended by that. I know you're going to say me and my penchant for pointy headstocks, but
no, it's not that. I think it's a stunning bit of wood. It's just very showy, isn't it? I just think nowadays tastes have changed, and it will come back. that it will come back to that. So they do. They're nice, aren't they? This is Electra Custom. Oh, I like that one. That's really the shape of that is great.
A bit too off balance for me, that one.
No, that's really nice. I really like that.
We are so different in a good way.
There we go.
I quite like that with P90s. I like that with 90s. That works.
No, I don't like the top on. I don't like the flat top on that. I like that. That's got a carved top. Much nicer.
Okay. Yeah. You're entitled to your opinion.
I really like that. Right, I'm coming out. Coming out.
K Michael P's got the name for the event.
Ratamataz. There we go.
Ratamataz.
Dave says, hello, mates. Kemper news, or are we waiting for the news? Oh, is there new Kemper news?
Is there? I haven't seen anything, but then again, why would I? Because I've been looking.
I haven't seen any news. Let's have a quick look. News Kemper amps.
Oh, excuse me.
I can't see any. There's nothing. No, there's nothing. There's nothing so far. No. I haven't heard of any news. But that will be poignant.
That'll get them shut down at NAMM like it normally does.
Well, who?
The noise police. The Kemper booth is always shut down by the noise police, which is ironic considering the whole point of a Kemper is to plug headphones in.
Well, yeah, that is weird. Yeah, or do it. So yeah. Funky Bass UK. A drink amongst studio rats. A rat arse. Oh, that's brilliant. Rat arse is brilliant. That is brilliant. Sorry, K Michael P. You might be been beaten there.
Oh, the rat arse. Oh, that's awesome.
That's great. Actually, I like that. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should just have a. I tell you what, we should do it on Friday night. We should do a rat arsed show on Friday night.
What, this Friday?
Yeah. Should do a live show. One? Yeah.
I don't think the internet's up to it. Those places do not have good upload.
Okay.
Downloads or upload is appalling.
Okay. John says, I have an Eventide H90 out for delivery today. Nice one, mate. Ooh. Have you had the chance to check one out? I have not, but that is a lovely thing.
It is. I want one.
Pit Trap. Oh, look at his little woofer. Oh, that's a cute dog. I like that. Pit says, tomorrow, big announcement for Tone X pedal. Woohoo! Got one, Paul. Is there a big announcement for Tone X? Has it been announced? Have they announced?
Don't know.
I thought it was just rumours at the moment. I couldn't possibly say anything about that. Anyway.
Anywho, moving on.
Raymond Donaldson. I was going to buy a new Boss Katana 100 just for the effects loop so I can use my external preamp and the other delays and reverbs. I was going to buy a new Boss Katana just for the effects loop. Personally, I think if you're in a shop and you've got the choice spending that little bit extra and getting a Katana 100, get the 100. I always think it's worth doing.
Yep.
I always think people that buy a 50, unless you're sort of a young kid, the dad goes in or mum goes in and buys the kid the amp, and the Katana 50 is there, which is great, and I'd highly recommend it. I think go for the 100, and you will. Otherwise, I think at a certain age you just go, I should have got the 100. So
this will make you laugh. So the guy turned up to pick up the AVT 150, the valve state, which is 150 watt power amp.
Yeah.
Into a pair of effectively a mini stack, two 12-inch speakers.
Right.
And I said, I bought it for my son. I went, tell him not to plug in the bottom cabinet. He said, oh no, I've told him to plug in the whole thing. He lives with my ex-wife.
And I had a meeting with Boss today.
Mm-hmm.
How many Katanas do you think they've sold?
Oh,
let's have a guess.
A gazillion. 10 million.
10 million? 10 million Katanas? There probably aren't 10 million guitarists.
All right, a million then.
900,000 Katanas.
That is a lot of amps.
That is incredible, isn't it?
No one's
900,000.
ever, there's not that many Vox AC30s in the world.
No. Hey, and I gave this to my son because I blew it up. I plugged
Right.
I think I plugged 18 volts into it accidentally.
Right. What is it?
It's a compressor pedal.
Right.
I gave it to him ages ago, and he was just, he just collects things, or collected things when he was younger. And as we're moving, we had a bit of a clear out, and my wife said, what do you want to do with this? And I said, oh, I'll keep that. Could you fix that?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Bring it on Friday.
Okay, I'll bring it on Friday. Yeah. So Raymond, yeah, go for the 100, mate. Yeah,
definitely.
Mr. Moxie says, I purposefully changed the pics for James to give him a new looky like. Chin chin, lads. Always good.
All he needs to do is, who wants to live forever, and run along the stage and go.
He's saying he's a bit of a.
I'm saying he looks like Freddie Mercury. That'll make him change it.
Tim Smelly. Should we go with Smelly?
I'd go Smelly because nobody wants to be called Smelly.
No, I didn't say no. Smelly, not Smelly. Tim. Tim says, "Hi, what are your impressions of running a modeler HX Quad Cortex input on the Katana?" Yeah, great. Yep. Absolutely. I think the only thing for me is if you're doing that, and if you're like me, you like to use the stereo effects inside these modelers, these, the Quad Cortex, the HX effects and all that sort of stuff. I think it's better to go into a cabinet, into the PA and get some in-ears, because you can hear those effects in stereo, and for me it makes a massive difference.
Yes,
when I'm playing live, I really like to hear like a polished.
I like the fact that you plug straight into the PA.
Yeah,
makes my life a lot easier.
Yeah, it's great, and the sound's going to be consistent. That it's anyway.
It's the thing with that is, it's very if you're doing a gig like we do generally, where you get time for a sound check, it's not a problem. If you were turning up and we were literally turning up, running and gunning in a pub, I would say you probably need an amp behind you.
That's a comment,
because even if it's a Katana, not even if that's making it derogatory, but I don't mean it like that. Yeah. I mean, you could turn up and plug a Katana in a pub gig and you'd be absolutely set.
Yeah, no, fair enough. That's a fair point. The only thing I'd say, Tim, is make sure if you are going to run into the parent of the Katana, make sure you turn off the speaker modeling inside the HX or Cortex, blah, blah, blah.
Definitely.
Maestro One says, "Evening, brothers, great channel. Love what you do. Cheers, mate. Thank you very much." Nice picture, that, like that. Raymond says, "Hi guys, I see Boss Next Tones at very good prices used. I was going to get a Katana, but I'm tempted by the simplicity of the Next Tone. Is the Next Tone still worth buying?" Yeah, it is. It is worth buying. I definitely prefer the Katana. If you like an amp that's quite clean stuff, I think it's great. It's the next tone is a really good sounding amp. I still prefer the flexibility of the Katana, but
I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's a really good amp. It's not a really good solution. Whereas Katana is the whole ecosystem, isn't it? It's the I would say.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. Mendel says, "Got all three wrong. Listening without your eyes is the truth." Jeff says, "Not only is the ESP I got pointy, it's reverse pointy." Do you know what? I prefer reverse pointy. The JJ Jewel is handmade UK small builder. I think PRS Katana model. Nice. Yeah, no, I quite like reverse pointy. I think it's better. People are crazy. It's clownabilism. It's
clownabilism.
What's clownabilism?
But
What are we doing? What was the? There was. I'm sure it's relevant. I can't. It's a shame about the comments, like being so behind the comments.
But when you're right, Tim, people are crazy.
People are definitely crazy, mate. Definitely.
Mainly those who use eBay.
They loco. American Therapy. Oh, that's a nice picture as well. Look at that.
Useful.
He said, Hale, will there be a Harley Benton moment of the week? Theme song this week, asking for a friend. There is not a Harley Benton moment this week. There's a. I'm just having a look at the.
There's no Harley Benton moment of the week.
There's a Chapman moment of the week.
Oh, they're always worth a laugh.
Yeah. Yes. Come on then. Next one.
Yep.
Cash Shadow Tonex is so dope. It is amazing. It's such a great product.
I think that's the first time the phrase "dope" has ever been used on our channel.
It is an absolutely. I would. That's the thing to buy. But I would say, that's the thing to buy. If you want to go and get like a modeler, a plug-in for your computer, that's the thing to buy. Just, and as it tends to be with a lot of these things, search for the right preset. I personally think I'm not a massive fan of a lot of the captures that they've done.
Mm-hmm.
But that's probably because of my own taste, and I like the sound of my own amps. So once you've captured your own amps, you're done. It's great. And if you like the sort of sound of my amps, you can download my captures.
One more.
What's that?
Go on. Somebody else sign in. Yes.
What?
It's a first. We have 100 people watching us.
Hey! Awesome. I can't see the numbers today, so I'm not. I need to log in.
Oh, you haven't then?
No, I haven't. Ever since
our popularity is skyrocketing.
Oh my god,
it's clearly peaked without 100 again. What did we say?
We are the new Rick Beato. Max Hodges, this month so far has been yet another 2 Notes torpedo product, a spare TC Electronics EFX01G system brain, another Seymour Duncan little 59 to go in an S series. Nice, those little 59s are cracking.
Those G systems, you can pick them up for so little money at the moment.
Right.
I think it was either Guitar or Andertons were chucking him out for 299 quid.
Yeah, and they sold out like that though.
Yeah, but they're really, really good. They are still really good units. They are absolutely bomb-proof, tank-proof.
I've never seen anyone use one. I've never ever seen anyone.
The guys on the Brit Floyd show used them.
Oh,
because it's an amp switcher as well and everything, and it's just a really good thing. Certainly on a show that's so programmed.
Yes, of course.
Which I think makes a lot of sense.
Rock on Gibbo says, how do you chaps decide whether or not to take a gig or not? I've had a couple of bad experiences recently. That's a really good question.
Me too.
That is a really good question. How do you know whether to take a gig or not? So I think I think any gig is good because you're getting experience, and the more gigs you do, the more you learn. I think one gig is worth a month's worth of practice.
I think, but I mean, from an actual, I think get as much information about the gig as you possibly can. If you're working through an agent and the agent says, "Oh yeah, it's about 300 quid," and it's, "Oh yeah, you're doing 2 sets," and if they're vague, alarm bells should be ringing. If they say it's at this place, it's a wedding, you're doing 345s, then the venue's great. I've sent loads of bands there. That's fine. Then generally that's a good thing. I mean, I often go by where is the gig, because I have no interest anymore in traveling for 6 hours. each way. I'll probably do 2.5 is not out of the question.
Do you know what I won't do anymore?
What's that?
London, middle of London.
It's not
I'm never
worth
doing
it.
it again. Not doing it
It's
again.
not worth it.
Hate it. Absolutely. hate it.
Everyone said when the talent were building its way up, we all said, "Oh, it'll be great. We'll get London gigs and they'll be worth a fortune and they're great." They're not worth it. They are not worth it. The get-ins are. The get-in is one of the big things for me.
Oh,
Can I park the car next to the stage, or within staggering distance? You never. You always get. London gigs. Just don't do them. They're rubbish. And or unless they're worth 500-600 quid, all of a sudden at that point I start to become less choosy.
Even so, I just don't wouldn't do it. Don't like them.
But no, I mean, information is king. I think find out as much as you can about the gig, and if something in there rattles your cage and goes, "There's something wrong here," if it looks like a rat, smells like a rat, and sounds like a rat, what is it?
Yeah, but I also think the thing is, Rock and Gibbo, is that you could do a gig and you could meet someone that then you could play with a musician, and that musician then sorts out the rest of your life career wise, because they might get a massive gig and go, "Oh, I remember that guitar player."
I'm trying. I don't think you're old enough to be cynical and jaded yet, like Paul and I are. From your picture. So at your age, I was taking absolutely everything. I was doing every gig, whatever came along. I think my biggest piece of advice is treat every gig like it's the most important gig you'll ever do. Because as Paul said, you could meet someone, there could be someone in the audience. I
tell you what, if I did some dodgy gig, and if I hadn't have done a gig, I would not have become a music producer, because there was a manager at a gig, and he said, "Do you write songs by any chance?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I do that." Well, I did write songs, but I never used to produce pop bands.
Yeah.
And then I did that. I produced that pop band. It was terrible, but then that led to a career of music production.
And he's been producing terrible music ever since.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, next one. Sounding Banana Camp. Don't buy cheap Russian underpants because Chernobyl will fall out. I love that one. But Chernobyl's not in Russia, but I love it. That's really good. That is really good. Actually, that's really good. Pet says, if you were going high Z to record some acoustic, would you also have a mic live in the room for extra sound? I think I'd never like the sound of a DI'd acoustic, so
me neither.
I think it's always worth miking up.
The only thing that can save, the reason to use the DI track is if you're recording a live gig.
Yeah.
Like, for example, so many worship albums have been done with the acoustic track where it's been DI'd, because you can't, otherwise you get feedback and it's horrible and nasty. The trick to that is a brilliant plugin that's available for UAD called Woodworks.
Woodworks, yeah.
And it is the best way to turn a nasty DI piezo buzzy sound into something actually usable. There you go.
Yeah. Good shout.
That was my advice.
Good shout. Pet says, my budget acoustic needs all the help it can project over YouTube. If you're doing
both. Use both, mic and a piezo.
Yeah, definitely. Sandy's Banana Cam says, how do you pull a farm girl tractor? Good.
Can I do my tractor joke?
Oh God.
This is my impression of an Extractor fan. I used to like tractors, but now I don't.
That's not bad actually. A bit dad, but I like it. Ned says, my super chat. Did you know Boss will make a Star Wars limited edition pedal? It will be the OD1 Kenobi. Thank you. I'll be all night. Nice. There we go. I'll try not to waste your time. There is a really exciting thing coming out from Boss. Actually, that I found out about today. I thought it's really, really cool. But anyway,
moving on.
Mr. Boxy says, I think the internet need a 24-hour rat fest. What, 24-hour booze fest? Like a, what was it called?
Getting rat-assed, yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's hilarious. It needs to
did
be
that.
R at ASD, doesn't it? Rat.
Oh, rat. Yes, that's good. Yes, that's good. Yes, I like that.
Yeah, we might have to plan that for some damage.
Yeah. Bonsoir, says Mr. Abraham.
What I should do, of course, is I should actually post the link. I always forget to do this, don't I? I'll post the link into the chat. That way, if anybody wants to come in and join us, they can do. Very lax these days. I'm such a bad person. Very sorry.
Oh, excuse me. Mr. Bro says, Paul, I thought you had some info on why not to buy a Kempus you could share as of this week. Was it Tonex? I cannot say. It's still not out. Just very soon. That's all I can say, David. Don't buy Kemper. Yeah, honestly, honestly, just give it a small amount of time. A very small amount of time. Torn between multi-effects and pedals. Got both. What to ditch and keep?
Keep both. Keep both.
Keep both. I think it depends on your multi-effects. How modern is your multi-effect? Pedals are always going to be relevant. As in, you know, like a good distortion pedal is always going to be a good distortion pedal. A good delay pedal is always going to be a good delay pedal. Analog delays, all that sort of stuff. Multi-effects do get outdated, and they still sound great, but they'll lose money. While, you know, a good overdrive pedal, a good compressor pedal, EQ pedal, whatever you use is always going to hold its value, I would say.
Cool.
Mr. Hodges says, I use Captor X on the tube amp output and Cab M on the other side of the TC stereo effects return. Direct to PA or recording streaming. Oh, brother, it's good. Nice one. There we go. Mr. Abraham says, Michael, Faux Live Ant Beat, the convenience of multi-effects. Faux Live Ant Beat.
For live, amp beats the convenience of multi-effects.
Okay.
I'm reading.
Okay.
Or it could be.
For live, you can't
beat.
Can't
okay.
Beat. There we go.
Right. We're there.
Jeff says, at Tim Smalley, check out Rick Biscoff channel. He regularly uses HX Stomp with the Katana as a power amp. Oh, nice. There we go. Johnny Guitar Man. Evening. Any experience with Katana's closest rival, the Line 6 Catalyst? I haven't tried one, actually. I'm a bit loath to go and... When you got a company that like Boss, which, you know, are really supportive. I mean, you know, I don't want any more amps in the house. I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8 amps in this room at the moment. Granted, some are little things, but yeah, I really don't need any more amps.
Yeah, I mean, and also, you know what they say, they don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's a good point. Actually, I'm just going to do something because I forget it otherwise. Okay. You just reminded me. Right, here we go. Okay, what's next?
They're chatting amongst themselves, but it's all good stuff.
Okay. Michael Vondenhoff says, Lee, with multi-effects, I spend hours leveling patches and the switching is a nightmare with pedals. Expensive. I actually play guitar. There we go. With pedals, he actually plays guitar. That is true. Or it might be Rich Biscoff.
Just checking names, yeah.
Sadly's Banana Can. My friend can't afford to pay his water bill. I've sent him a get well soon card. My friend can't afford to pay his bill. I don't get it. You have to explain that one.
Get well soon card.
Oh, no, that's bad. No, I don't like that one. I like the other ones. Tim says, clownabilism. I was referring to the people that were commenting on the amp shootout. and the things they claim they can hear. I see. Is that what that means? Interesting. I didn't know. I didn't know it's called that.
Didn't know the word. Yeah.
Cheers, Tim. Lee says, Michael, yeah, I get you. It's taken me years to find a good live multi-effects and set it up right, but in recent weeks I've managed it. Nice one. There we go.
This is the man who buys more stuff than even you and I do.
Yes, he does. It's true. Ned says, I see 95 viewers. Don't mean to be a Captain Bring Down. Ha ha. There was 100, was there?
It was actually 100, yeah. I was watching it. It went, man, it
Nice.
sailed over, then plateaued.
It's dipped again. People realise this is absolute guff. Shahar Bar, have you tried Nambrini plugins? I just bought their ADA MP. Oh, I loved my ADA MP1. And it was fantastic and rather cheap, $30. They also have free plugins to emulate Klon, TS-828, and Rat pedals. I would love an ADA MP1 again, but I've never tried the plugin version of it.
That was that and the Sans amp were the two, weren't they?
Well, I had an ADA MP1, I had a Sans amp, I had a Rocktron.
Rocktron.
Rocktron was good. Pro Gap, which was their MIDI preamp. Oh my god, I had arts. I had everything at one point. But the MP1, I loved the MP1. The only thing that was crap about the MP1 was the buttons.
The
Do you
buttons
remember? They were like.
Yeah.
It was like weird. I can't even explain what it was. It was weird. They was just to get worn out. Anyway,
you know how sometimes change is a good thing.
Yeah.
And you know how sometimes people change things and they're changing it for change's sake. Right? I remember going to one of my first ever music shows, and in the front of the show was a mixing desk, a big one. And it said, we are taking £100 off the price of this desk every hour of the. It might even, every hour of the show we're dropping it by £100.
I don't understand.
No, as in they were trying to sell it, and basically no one wanted to buy this desk. So they were dropping £100 an hour off the price of this console.
Right.
And the thing that was weird about it, it didn't have faders. It had tracks with clear rubber. And you pushed on the rubber, and it turned like a conveyor belt type thing.
God.
And underneath, a light came up to tell you where the position was. And I was like, "You're breaking something that wasn't broken. You're reinventing a problem that wasn't a problem."
Well, maybe it's for people that once it's set, because I guess it'd be quite hard to move it as opposed to it's quite easy to knock a fader.
It was one of those. I mean, it was basically they were trying to do something different just for the sake of being different. I think. I mean, it looked cool, but it's like, So those switches, they didn't need to be like that.
No, they didn't.
But they did them, and we had to live with them.
It did sound so good though. MP1. I'd like one. Centurions, said David Ashcroft. Centurions, I guess.
Yes.
Lee says Ned might be aggregate figures with Twitch. Might
be, yes.
Oh, I see. Michael Vondon. Yes, because we're watching. We're looking at two or three different.
Three platforms.
Michael Vondenhoff. Lee got a GT1 and a gig board, but to me the ME80 is far superior in terms of ergonomics and actual usage. Yeah, I mean the ME80 is brilliant because you've got everything in front of you.
Yeah. Give me my old Korg A4 any day.
Yeah.
Yuck.
Yeah, they were terrible. That was an absolute pile of crap and just flimsy and everything. Oh, just terrible things.
Very early days, though. It was very early days of pedal boards and things like that. I decided I'm going to keep the MX5 because they're worth peanuts on eBay.
Right.
They're halved in value. There's no point in getting rid of it yet. And B, it is quite handy to have something that I can just chuck in a rucksack and go, right, I'm a guitarist.
Right. Okay. Great. Nice one.
I'm justifying it to myself, aren't
I? No. Lee, you're right, says Ned. Only see the YouTube numbers 95 on YouTube ain't bad.
At this point,
Yeah, it's all the different platforms that we're streaming at the same time.
At this point,
Z-Peps. Cheers, Z-Peps. He says, good evening, good people of the tubes. Spent my day cracking my 50-watt katana all alone in a 100-year-old theatre room. What a day. Tomorrow again. Nice one. Sounds fun, doesn't it? We were going to take an amp. James and myself, we're in a really big venue on Friday and Saturday and Sunday. And we were thinking about taking an amp and doing something. But maybe we'll chat about it afterwards.
I need to see what I can fit in, because if I could fit the 2x12 katana in.
No. Greg was going to bring his 100-watt JCM.
Oh right, yeah, that'd be good. That's a.
But we've got to find out if we can actually, if there's any content worth making on that.
Yeah, and we don't want to be there really late because we've already got enough to achieve.
Yes.
Boom, go. There we go.
Lee says, Pet, at a pinch, you can add an acoustic guitar IR to a direct recording. Always best to mic it up. Petty says, for acoustic, I recently switched from a large diaphragm to a pencil condenser. Sounds great and needs less treatment for mixing. There we go.
And actually, you can pick up some really nice sounding pencil condensers for like 100 quid.
Yeah.
The Lewitt ones are great.
Yeah. Michael says, Boss should do a CP3PO pedal. I like that cool pedal. Look at that. C3PO. Yeah, nice.
Yes. But then the thing is, it would be gold and all neurotic and kind of never do what you wanted it to do. Should we do the news?
Yes, let's do the news.
We're at that point.
You can do it, can't you?
I can. Boom.
Zach Wild has sold his soul. He's created a positive grid. I don't know. It's just that annoys me. That does annoy me a little bit. Not that I'd say it to his face, because he's far too hard.
He'd kill you.
But he would.
He'd eat you, actually.
I don't get it. I don't get it. It's a positive grid with a skull sprayed on it. Well, I don't get it. I don't get it. And the mini, the Wild Spot mini cost $299.
But they're only doing 100, aren't they?
They're only doing what?
I think they're only doing 100.
Oh, are they? Okay. Well, then that's not so bad, I guess. But that is a lot of money compared to what a normal Spark Mini costs, isn't it?
Yeah. That's I don't know. It's not. There's a lot of selling out going on at the minute, isn't there?
There is a lot. I mean, I get it. Musicians have to earn money, and also, and I think Ozzy's stopped touring now, isn't he? So
yeah.
Sheldon. yeah. I get it, and I also get that people have got to earn money, but
he can't be short of a quid or two. He can't be.
He can't be short of a quid or two, but yeah, I don't get it. Anyway, next one. So I thought this was telling.
That's quite interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it was bound to happen, and this is the thing that could make Marshall some decent money again.
Yes,
because it's Blues Breakers.
All they have to do is not change it. Don't try and improve it. Don't make it better, because that way it's not a reissue of the original. Just make it again. Yeah.
The only thing I would say is this going to be a decent, made in Milton Keynes one, or is it just like a made in China with a
price?
Let's have a look. Marshall Blues Breaker pedal, blah blah blah. The originals can be found on Reverb for over $1,000.
Insanity. Wow. My mate Terry's at 2 of them on his board. Then he plays with her every night.
So he plays with who every night?
He's got 2 on his board. He plays with them every night.
Does he? Excellent.
He plays one into the other.
Does he? Nice.
Yeah.
It doesn't say. Cool though. I mean, I think that'll do so well. But let's hope Marshall don't. There's only cheap components in this thing. Let's hope that Marshall don't end up either selling it for stupid money.
Yeah.
What does it say? Does it say made in the USA? Sorry, it's made in the UK.
I can't read it, but
I really hope it is. I really hope it is. Anyway, exciting stuff. No, that's popped up. There we go. Chapman adds new guitars to its high-spec mid-price Pro series, including baritone and 7-string options.
So these are guitars that aren't actually available?
No. These are the no. That was for the English-made custom shop ones.
Right.
Do you think, just speculating, and I don't know about this at all, but that the whole Revere thing that when he left Chapman.
Yeah.
Do you reckon he knew about the English custom shop not being able to do it, and he's just like, do you know what? I've had enough of this. It makes me look bad, and he's left.
If you were a Chapman in Dorsey, there's certainly enough of a smell around the brand.
Yeah.
That if you were in any doubt, it would send you over the cliff, wouldn't it, on your decision making?
Yeah. I think so.
I think that guitar looks amazing. That one in the middle, the sort of purpley blue finish. I think that's amazing.
You are such a wrong un. You are such a wrong un. That just looks That looks great.
I just half of me says there's no smoke without fire because there never is. But
yeah,
do you know who stocks them? Who's actually got them in stock?
Oh, Andertons.
Well, yes, because they're fairly well in bed with them.
I think there's quite a few places in America that stock them as well, like Guitar Center and etc.
I don't know. I just think with all the bad press. I mean, God, I work with a brand that's had enough bad press for a lifetime.
Yeah,
but eventually quality works its way out, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Quality works its way through and bad press is alleviated. I just think Chapman just keeps getting so much bad press on top of other bad press, and it's just horrendous.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not a brand I would go and buy.
No, it is unfortunate about the UK thing, and I'm sure you don't know whose fault it is, and we are just speculating, but yeah, I wouldn't have, if make sure the product's made before you start doing a big press thing about you've got this new guitar coming out, and
twice.
Fortunate. Okay, next one.
The king of early press releases, Stephen Slate.
Yeah,
even he's produced.
And have you seen that? That he's been teasing the new FGX. FGX is a mastering type plugin.
Yeah.
He's been teasing that for about 10 years, and finally, I think it's coming out, isn't it?
Wow! At last.
Yeah.
But there's a whole thing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. FGX is brilliant.
Right, look at this. This is what's his name? Henry Crash. I don't know Henry Crash. He's from the band Starcrawler.
Right.
But look at his pedals. Aren't they cool?
They're very pink.
Yeah. So he's done that, and he's obviously got a spare pedal board. So he's got I like that. So he's got a couple. I don't know why he's got 2 Boss tuners on there.
Don't know.
Anyway,
one for different harmonic series.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Actually, yeah, maybe it's for different tuning, and it's quite a lot of work to do all that, isn't it?
It is. I mean, you're like, well, it's quite a lot for his tech.
Yeah. I don't know who they are, but interesting.
I want all my pedals pink.
Yeah, I want it now. I love this. So this is the most requested custom Magnatone finishes are now available to order as standard. How good do they look?
The green looks amazing.
The green does look good, doesn't it? I
I
think
like
the
the
green's
green.
probably my favourite. Yeah, I think
the
look,
the brown looks too much. That green looks amazing.
it does look good, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I really like that. Really like that. Okay. Dodd's back. So yeah, Dodd. Who bought Dodd in the end? Do you know, James? Was it that China company? Is it Cortec?
I think weren't DoD part of Digitech?
At one point, yes, they were, but I think it's a separate.
Okay, I don't know, but all I know is they were part of Digitech originally. Oh, hang on. Last year, Cortec, the parent company of Cort Guitars, announced that they purchased Digitech and Dodd.
Oh, look at that!
There you go.
So yeah, Dodd are releasing pedals again, which I can't. Didn't you ever and always used to think that Dodd were like a poor man's Boss at back in the 80s and 90s?
The thing I loved about DoD or Dodd was the micro switch as the foot switch. There was no big kind of clunk. It was like a really nice tappy foot switch.
Oh, was it?
The only problem was they failed rapidly.
Oh, you mean the paddle ones, the old paddle? Yeah. You're right. Yeah, they were crap,
but they looked really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
Gary Moore was a big Dodd exponent.
Oh, there we go. Cort have got a bunch of new guitars. I thought these looked really good.
I like the one you don't think I'm gonna. I'm gonna like.
I like the pink.
I like the one to the left of the pink as well. The blue fade.
Of course you do, because it looks like something that's dated. Look at that. That's the one. What's going on there? Don't like that. No, actually, I'll give you that. I hate that headstock with that colouring on it. That looks awful. I quite like the body.
I quite like the pink as well.
Not great, is it? Headstock's not great.
No, it looks like a bit of a it looks like a bit of a droopy nose.
It does look a little bit Roxanne, isn't it?
If it was Kenneth Williams, it's Kenneth Williams' nose.
Kenneth Williams' nose. Okay, I'm coming out. I'm done. Ready?
Right. There is one more thing we need to talk about.
What's that?
And it's weird, and it's interesting, and it's kind of cool and kind of bad and all those sort of things all at the same time. And I'm still not yet sure what to make of it.
Okay.
So about this time last year, Universal Audio released Spark, their subscription program for non-UAD effects. So basically, you could buy into the Spark subscription and you could use your UAD effects without UAD hardware. First time it ever been done.
Nice.
This week, they've released the UAD collections, which are also host-based. You do not need UAD hardware or processing to make it work. Now, the UAD platform has been around a long time. UAD 2, as we're in now, must be at least 15 years old. At least. Still running on Shark DSP chips.
Yes.
Which are running out. They're not making them. They haven't made them anymore. Haven't made them for a number of years now. And you would assume that UA were moving over to an ARM architecture, much like Apple Silicon, much like Antelope, their effects.
Yeah.
But no, it would appear they are going the logical business route and going native. Nice. Meaning anyone with a powerful computer can now use UAD gorgeous plugins. I've downloaded the rights to the ones that are in the collections that I own already, and I'll be doing a little bit of testing, because obviously if I can use UA reverbs and they sound the same
great
as they do natively as they do DSP based, that's awesome, because now I'm moving over to a laptop. I can start using more host based processing because I've got a boatload of it.
Very
15 years ago when UAD was out, when UAD came out and and launched with all these amazing effects, you didn't have infinite amounts of computer power and processing and RAM and stuff to put 75 billion effects on things. Now you do.
Yeah, it's great. Really good.
It's great. I mean, it's certainly confusing to the market, certainly to the industry. It's like, whoa, okay. That's like UA said they would never do it. It would always be DSP based. We'll always embrace our platform, yada yada yada. And now all their plugins are being ported over. Not all, but I think it's something like 30 odd plugins will be ported over, so they will be UAD2 and native.
There we go.
So I've been downloading all the updates via Universal Audio Connect for the ones that I've got. So I'm tempted to install them and see what happens and run a Pro Tools session up. But
nice.
It's interesting. I'm not sure what to make of it yet. I'm not sure what this says about UA. I mean, certainly they got rid of a few people a few weeks ago, a few quite key people. That didn't go down well. I suspect. It's a bit weird. It's worrying because obviously UA were one of the biggest players, if not the biggest player in DSP, alongside maybe Avid. And Avid dropped their halo well and truly slipped.
Mm-hmm.
Let's hope the same is not the case for UA. They've certainly been diversifying into other business models, guitar effects, pedals, microphones. It's a weird one. I'm not sure what to make of it. I want to chat with someone at NAMM, but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to.
Oh, well, see what happens at NAMM.
Right,
more questions.
Yes, let's get into it. Here we go.
Maestro One says, in 1983, I was gigging the pubs and clubs with a Vox AC30 and a Vox Standard 24 Cherry Red guitar. It had DiMarzio Super Distortion humbuckers, as I remember. Jeez. Super Distortion humbuckers and an AC30. That would be loud, wouldn't it?
We used to gig, my band used to gig, the guitar player used two Fender Twins.
Jesus, why would you ever need two Fender Twins?
Stereo.
That is ridiculous.
Eric Johnson does.
That's Eric Johnson. He's playing big venues. You're playing like two twins. That's crazy. Nictorious, he says, hello, Paul. Hello, Nictorious. He says, you said you would happily use the Katana for professional recording. What makes you less willing to use it for live in comparison to your matches, let's say? No, nothing. There's no reason why I wouldn't use it for live. It's just that for me, I think lots of people consider on the comments that I got, lots of people consider live to be the holy grail of amp tone. And for me, it's not. The holy grail of amp tone is recorded amp tone.
Yeah.
So no, there was no hidden meaning in that. Saying that I wouldn't use it for live, I would.
So we did a track.
The thing is, when I play live, I go out with an Axe-Fx.
We did a recording the other day, didn't we? And live drums in the room.
Yeah.
You used my Cornford, didn't you?
I did. It sounded great, that amp.
Through the 4x12. And Ben was using my Dark Glass DI'd.
Yes.
That thing sounded epic.
Well, what thing? You're pointing at things we can't see.
Sorry, the Cornford and the 4x12 sounded amazing in the room. Not loud, not definitely loud by any stretch, I didn't think.
No.
Certainly there were some compromises that I had to make in the mix because, there was a certain amount of bleed between the two. But really, who cares? It was only like recording a band live on stage. And I love doing that.
No, absolutely. I thought that Cornford sounded exceptional.
Now it has a nice case as well.
Yeah, yes, I gave you. Yes,
it has a lovely case, which I can just about show you.
That. Oh, look at that! Fits it perfectly, doesn't it? No, that Cornford I think sounded great. I think I gave you the case for it. I think you should give me that amp as payment for the case.
Not so sure about that.
You can keep the case. When you can have the case.
Thanks. Yeah, I'll have the case for the amp that you want. Great.
Yeah.
and you're trying to get rid of stuff.
Yeah,
Well done.
I do like that comfort. That I would like that comfort.
It's a great thing. I love it.
Michael says, "Good points, guys." Cheers, Michael. Lefty Mike. Either one of you ever played the one for Bravado? No. Oh, have I actually? So James, so Wampler, basically, you know the factory in LA that builds Friedman.
Yeah, they also build Wampler pedals. Yeah.
Want pedals. So that they also so they make basically a pedal platform amp called the Wampler Bravado. Very clean amp. Not my sort of thing. I can't think of ever. Have I tried one? The thing about it is that I don't think it's got reverb.
Right.
So it's everything through the front end. I don't. Maybe it's got an effective. I don't think it's got an effective. I could be wrong. It's not my thing. It's too. Those things are too clean for me. Those pedal platform amps.
At this point, greatness has come amongst us. Please welcome John to the show.
Ah, John, how you doing, mate? You all right?
Good. Can you all hear me?
Yeah, we got you, mate.
Awesome. I just wanted to jump on real quick and show you a couple of the new Kiesel guitars that I have.
Mate, you're keeping this company in business. He's keeping this.
So this is our 6-string Lyra.
That's nice.
Sort of like this is a wonderful guitar. I have humbuckers and actually 2 twin blade pickups for the middle and the neck. This is I call it my indie rock alternative guitar.
Nice.
Has a nice little 4x2 headstock there for it. Aldo body, ebony fretboard, walnut neck. That's sort of like sky blue color. Beautiful playing guitar, wonderfully sounding. Like all my Kiesel guitars, they all play just fantastically.
Oh, that's great. So, what's the weight of that? Is it heavy? Because it looks like it's really light.
Yeah, it's pretty light. It's probably 7.5 pounds. It's really light.
Right. Perfect.
Nice little light guitar.
That's really nice, mate. Really
nice. This is the sort of retro solo style, sort of T-style guitar. This is their nice little guitar that I got last year. Swamp ash body, raw tone. So sort of painted on raw tone, sort of emerald green color.
Yeah. I like that.
You can see the green in it. Nice.
Yes.
Can I ask a rude? Yep. I don't want to ask rude questions. And please, if you don't feel comfortable, tell us. But what does a guitar like that sell for? Because we don't see them we don't really see them in the UK.
Yes. So typically, because they sort of semi-custom shop on the Kiesel, what I see online is like usually it sells at about 80% of what you would have bought it at sort of full retail, or when you go to the Kiesel site to have it built. You don't get one for one. Sometimes if it's a very discontinued model that was of let's say a very famous Kiesel player like Alan Holdsworth, you probably can get that or above depending on when you got it. But you typically are not going to make it back what you paid because of the sort of custom nature of the guitars. But you also don't see them for sale that often. Typically the people that buy a lot of Carvin / Kiesels are sort of like fanboyish. So we all tend to keep them around.
So when you buy them new, are they sort of Fender custom shop prices, or are they?
No. Yeah, they usually run. So this one spec'd out. This one spec'd out around 2,400, like a equivalent sort of Fender custom shop guitar would have been like 45 to 5,000. So they're made in the US, made of very high quality components. They go direct, so they don't pay the dealer fees, and they sort of pass that on the savings to their customers.
John,
shame
just
we don't
flick it
get
round. Is
them.
that stripe through the neck?
This is a 3-piece neck,
Oh,
walnut and maple. So yeah, it has a sort of. I was like, oh, I can just do it through, and then it goes straight through the sort of top because it's non-painted headstock.
that's
Look at that.
beautiful.
It's great, mate.
Yeah,
Lovely,
this is a
lovely
really nice
guitar.
one.
And I
Love
wish
these
we got more of
guitars.
them in the UK.
They ship internationally, so they definitely ship internationally. You can order one from the Kisa website.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. The only thing is you don't really see them in the UK, and and you know what they need to do. They need to get and I know it's a custom shop, and I know it's like you order it from Kiesel, but they need to get them in a shop so people can try them in the UK. So then people go, oh yeah, great. You know, I'll order one. But at the moment, yeah, I don't think many people in the UK. I've never seen one. I've never seen one in the UK.
Yep. No, yeah, that's it. That's always it's always interesting with Kiesel and the founder and his son and the way they run their business. They're pretty dedicated being direct to consumer. One of the things that they do always say is like usually there's a 10-day return period. 10 days from when you get the guitar, not from like it ships. So you can sort of play around for the 10 days. If it's not to your liking, and just return the instrument to them and get the refund. That's how they try to work that out. But it is one of those things where it would be nice to be able to play. Like a couple of the shops in my area have them for resale, like trade-ins. So you can sort of play them there. But I've been in London a couple of times. Didn't see any in the London area. So
yeah,
I'm not too surprised. But they're on the same quality. And in fact, they sort of just made right up the street from Suhr guitars and Fender guitars. They're all sort of in that same sort of area of California, Southern California.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I love Suhr guitars. So if they're anything like that, that's great.
Yeah. Well, I'm just hopping on. Thanks, guys. I love your show.
Cheers,
nice to
John.
chat with you all again.
Really nice to have you, mate. Take care.
Nice. Very nice.
Nice details.
We like those.
Yeah, John's a nice guy. What a nice guy. Michael Vondenhoff says those katanas sound pretty good. They do.
They sound great.
They do. Mr. Moxie says, Lee, cheers, Lee. I did a recording of a Tommy Emmanuel cover. Nice. On my Chanel, just using High Z. I have a butchers when you get bored. Definitely.
Nice.
Definitely. I'll be checking that out. Tony Davis says, I have a Tone King Falcon Grande. It has a Tweed setting. I've never played through a Tweed amp, so I'm curious if it actually sounds like a Tweed amp. Have you had any experience? I've never played the Grande. No, I've never played one. I didn't know it had the Tweed setting. That's interesting. I wonder what makes it a Tweed setting.
It's not my sound generally. It's not a sound.
It's not a sound I normally go for.
I'm a bit too 80s. Sorry.
Hollywood says, Lee, what's your live setup at the moment? Jet guitar, GT1, or different multi-effects?
Yeah, and then Lee said, I'll pop in after the news.
He's popping after the news. Evening, Studio Rats. Evening, Duncon. Pet says, I can't seem to recreate the tone I like when switching from fingerstyle to plectrum. Plectrum sound harsh and tinny.
That is what you need an EQ pedal for.
Yes, I guess you could do that. I think just change the plectrum maybe. There's lots of plectrums. I haven't got any here, but if you like the sound of fingers, like some of those wood plectrums are really good for that because they're definitely duller than the plastic or the Tortex or whatever, like that sort of stuff. Also more rounded plectrum, so and anti what I normally go for, the very pointy plectrums. You get a more rounded one, and you can definitely get more of that sort of finger tone.
Once again, greatness comes amongst us. Please welcome Mr. Lee Abraham.
Mr. Abraham.
Hi, chaps. How are we doing?
Hello, mate. All right.
All good, thank you, buddy. How are you?
I'm all right. Yeah. So this is what I've bought.
What you bought this week?
Oh, here we go. Okay. Right, what is this? It looks like a well,
The
it's a
GT
complete
1000
rip-off of
core.
a
It looks like a
Healy.
GT 1000 core.
Well, no, look more like the HX effects, HX Stomp.
So I plug it in. You can see the fancy startup screen.
Yeah, go and plug it in. Oh, that's quite cool, actually. Oh, look at that.
Hi, I'm Veltron.
Is it any good?
Yeah, it's great. It's really good, actually. I'm impressed. They seem to have struck the right balance all round. So it sounds great. It contains all the things you'd expect it to contain. Like you can load in third-party IRs. You can swap around with the order of the effects, and it's got an effects loop as well, so you can put your own stuff in it as well if you want. It's got balance jackouts. And it's really cheap as well, as you would expect, because I've bought it, So it's about 220 quid or something. I think that's so much I pay for it at Anderton's, 220 quid. Yeah, I did. I messaged Paul a couple of weeks ago because I had this sudden moment where I went up to Anderton's and just tried out some stuff, and I tried out the simplifier, the DSM Homebook, whatever it's called, simplifier thing, which is this all analog thing, and I really liked it, and it does sound really great for an analog product, because it's all the speaker sim and everything is all analog as well. And we usually shy away from analog speaker sims, don't we? Because they're a little bit fluffy and a little bit strange sounding.
Yeah.
But this thing sounded really good. And I thought, I'm gonna take a chance on this, and I brought it home and I used it a few times at home. But it's just the form factor that kind of put me off, because it's a twin channel thing. I've got the deluxe one, so it's a twin channel thing, but there isn't a foot switch on it. You get like an extra foot switch to plug into it, and it plugs in with these tiny little mini jacks basically, and it's a tiny little 2-button foot switch. And I thought, that on a pub floor night after night after night, that's just going to be trashed after about 3 or 4 months,
Yeah.
And I guess you could just buy another one, but So and I did have my eye on these Valeton things, because I've had a Valeton products in the past and it's been really good. So yeah, and I've used this for a few gigs now, and I played a really big gig last weekend. In one of Southampton's proper big venues, and so it was going through the big proper professional PA with the sound guy and everything, and this thing sounded amazing, to the point where the guy came up to me and he said, "What are you using then?" And I just said, "Well, just that little thing down there."
Awesome.
And also, just a bit of an update for you, these are still working, they're still together.
Damn.
And they sound great.
Damn, I'm shocked. I'm shocked that anything stag lasts more than
You
2
can't
days.
say stag though. Surely you have to say stag.
Yeah, so these are about 12 or 15 gigs in now, and they're still fine. They're still really good.
You must say 12 or 15 quid.
That's amazing. I'm impressed.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, and I'm still, and for Hollywood, who's asking, so I'm using the Valeton now, and I've still got the Jets, and I've still got the Court with its Kenneth Williams nose. I had that Court set up actually, and it plays like a dream now. So yeah.
Superb.
Paul, I was going to ask, have you seen the videos for the new Victory Sheriff, the refreshed Victory? What do you reckon?
I was a bit disappointed, to be honest.
Were you?
I tried out a Sheriff. I was going to buy a Sheriff, and I really liked it. One of the big one. Was it the 40?
44, yeah.
And then I've only heard Rabeer's video on it. And I thought, to me, it sort of seemed like he wanted to get it done quick.
Right. Yeah. Interesting comment.
I could be, that. What do you think?
I really liked it. I have to say. I mean, I've always been a big fan of the Friedman sound, and I thought it sounded the hot rod because there's 2 channels on this new amp. They're calling one the vintage channel and one the hot rod channel.
Yeah.
I thought the hot rod channel just sounds incredible. It sounds so Friedman. It's unbelievable. It just sounds like a BE to me, a Friedman BE. And of course, if you want a real Friedman BE, you're looking at thousands of pounds, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. The Friedmans are great. But I think you can get that from the old Sheriff. I think you can get that sort of high gain modded Marshall sort of tone from it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'll have to listen to other demos. I mean, you know, Rabir is an amazing guitar player, but
Yeah, very much so.
It wasn't his normal level of video, I thought, but maybe that's.
It felt like a contractual obligation, maybe.
Could be.
Yeah. No, I just thought it sounded incredible. I thought, you know, I mean, they're very well, for me, of course, they're very highly priced, you know, because I think the new 25 watt is something like £1,200 or something. Is it a bit more than that, maybe?
Right.
You know, but I thought it sounded really good. A real step up, because the first Sheriff, when it came out, I thought was a little bit like flavourless ice cream for me. It didn't.
Oh, isn't that funny? I guess it's horses, of course, isn't it? It's but I really liked it. I really liked the original, the 41.
Yeah, cool. Cool. Nice one, chaps. How's the house move going? It's all still going ahead, is it?
Seems to be. It's all looks like end of, well, towards the end of March, we're hoping to be in.
So with a bit of luck, you'll just be in time to fly off to Nam for a week.
Yeah, that's not perfect timing. It's not perfect timing.
Just leave the family with a load of paint pots and brushes in the hallway. Just say,
good luck with that. Good luck with that, mate.
One there. All right, chaps. I'll catch you later.
Cheers, Lee. See you, mate.
Hey, nice to see you. Yeah, a paint party. They're always good for getting nothing done as you want it.
Yeah. Overdrive Guitar Channel. He says, "Hey guys, I've got a Black Star HT5 for home recording and practice. It was meant to replace a Boss Katana. I love the tones, but the Katana is just so much easier to dial in." Opinions. Oh, excuse me. On the Black Star, I really like that HT5. I thought it sounded really good. But yes, I mean the Boss Katana's got everything in front of it, I guess. I think you get great tones out of both. You know, but you know, the Katana is, you could gig with it. The HT5, you couldn't gig with that.
No.
Jeff, if I used a Boss tube amp expander to make a small combo amp louder, would I use full range flat response speakers rather than something similar to the original amplifier? No, it depends what you want to do. So if you plug a tube amp into the tube amp expander, it's got 100 watt amp power amp built in. So you could, that takes like the exact signal that your guitar amp is producing and then pumps it, would then pump it out through the speaker of your choice, and it would need to be a guitar speaker. You've also got direct outs, which yes, then you would send those to your flat range full response speakers, or you'd send that to the PA. I mean, either would work great. It depends if you like me, and I'm not so fussed about having an amplifier behind me on stage, then just take the line outs and go into the PA or into a full range flat response. Or if you really want an amp on stage, then you can take the power amp out of the tube amp expander and plug it into the speaker that you're using. Just make sure that your speaker can handle what the tube amp expander is going to kick out.
Yes, good shout.
Lawrence says, "Hey guys, new viewer here. Love the show so far. Cheers, Lawrence." Michael Vondenhoff, "For that money, you can have a DSL-1 full tube 2-channel rear lamp." I don't know what we're talking about. We're a bit behind on the questions, aren't we?
Yeah, you certainly could, because I'm selling the DSL.
There we go. By James's DSL.
If anybody wants the DSL 100, it'll be going very competitively.
Yes.
Make me an offer, as they say. Oh, and by the way, just so anybody knows, it was only a fuse. We didn't break it in a big way. A fuse went. Apparently does happen on those, so don't panic if you want to buy it.
How about your computer? Did you manage to get it back? No, Easy Peps, no, afraid not. It's one of those things. Scumbag, that's all I can say. Don't Wazza was not wanted.
What was their big hit? Walk the Dinosaur, wasn't it?
Was not was.
Yeah.
Yeah, Don was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers, Thomas. He says, just a little bit to keep you guys awake. Thanks, mate. Yes, need it. I'm struggling tonight.
I'm quite tired, but I've had one of those days of trying to achieve things that people think are impossible, and then I've achieved it anyway. And then they've gone, "How'd you do that?" I said, "Well, that's why you booked me to do these things."
Yes, there you go. Hollywood says, I known if someone online who pre-ordered this a year ago by Toman. I just got delivery of it. Don't know what that is.
It is.
Yeah, let us know in the comments because we're so far behind on the comments. Just let us know. Whatever it is or whatever.
Yeah.
Rock on Giver says, when using a wireless in-ear rig, do all receivers have to be by the same brand? That's a good question. I'm new to the in-ear world and I'm after some general advice to make the transition smoother. Good question. I honestly don't know. I guess not.
Okay, so there are a number of frequencies that are available to you to use. They are not free of charge. You theoretically should pay for a license, and it's £75 a year theoretically, unless you opt for the 2.2 gigahertz models, and then you have to be a little more careful. But generic radio frequencies, and this is very much out of my comfort zone, you have to be careful and make sure that you are a certain number of frequencies apart. So there'll be a group of frequencies, and you can find these groups, listed on the internet. Just make sure all the frequencies are separate. So your receiver matches with the transmitter, its frequency, and it has to be a certain number of hertz away from the next nearest radio, be that transmitter or receiver. It's different in the 2.4 gigahertz world, the basically Wi-Fi world, because it's all done on groups and on channel 1, group 1, channel 2, group 2. They tend to play nicer if you go for the same flavor. So the answer is, depending on what you're doing, depends on what the answer is. Sorry, I can't be any more accurate than that because it's a very big topic.
But you've answered. You've sort of gone. He hasn't asked all those questions, but he suggested, do they have to be by the same brand?
They don't have to be. No.
Okay. Great.
It can make it easier. So if for example, you buy into a Shure workflow or into a Sennheiser workflow, and let's face it, those are the two big ones, it's easier if you all have Sennheiser or all have Shure, because you can save on aerials and distribution, all that sort of stuff. You don't have to have a set of aerials each. It can all be done centrally. But if you have all got your own rig, don't worry about it too much. I mean, if you're talking more than 10 radios on a stage, you should start to think about keeping it all the same brand, all done similarly, all through the same distribution. But up until that point, it's not really an issue. Hopefully that helps.
Nice. I got sent the, I don't know if I told you, I got sent the, their G4 system.
Nice. See, yes. that's not 2.2 gigahertz. That's proper radio frequency.
Yes, but this is their Pro one, isn't it? I think.
Yes. Yeah, that's the latest. G4 is the latest version. All my radios are Generation 3.
Right.
Which are
so G3. Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay, that's what that means. Okay, understood. Speaking of in-ears, said Ned.
Yeah, as we were.
AMS carries Chapman, but American Music Supplies, isn't it? But I've yet to see one guitar with a review next to it. Interesting. Ned says, speaking of in-ears, are all molded, or is it best to get molded ones? I think it's always best to get molded.
It's always best to get molded, but get as good as you can afford. I mean, they've come along. I mean, I've got 3 driver models, and you can get a 3 driver model now generic for about 50 quid. The really super expensive ones now have 9 and 10 drivers. I'm like, how the hell do you fit that in there? But
yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? I mean, I just use. I mean, I really want to get some molded ones, but I just use the Shure ones, and they're not molded. But I mean, I think it's always better to have molded. I think they're always better
if you can.
The Shure ones are good. Michael says Chapman seems not to respect common business model. If you discount 50%, your stock at the local store sells at a loss. Look at that.
Yeah, there's a lot.
It's a funny thing going on, isn't there?
There's a lot to be said for non-business people, as in musicians getting involved in sort of fairly big business, and the two don't always blend well, because you become, say, a friend of ours has a phrase, the accidental business owner. I didn't become a business owner. I didn't want to become a business owner. I wanted to have a studio. And unfortunately, you get to a certain point where you have to turn it. It has to become a business. It has to become, finance becomes an issue. You have to start worrying about that sort of stuff. That's the law. And say I'm the worst business owner ever, because I blow up my phone on gear. I'm just slightly concerned when people go, "Oh, I'm a business person." They say, "Well, okay, and your businesses have gone which way?" Just saying. See Donald Trump.
Doesn't Lee own half? Lee Anderson own
Not
half
Lee
of
Abraham.
Is he? As far as I know, he has a share in it. I don't know if he owns half, or even if that rumor is true. Hollywood says, personally, customers who will buy a very niche high-end Chapman UK guitar will be few. Those who love the brand and want something super high-end, I expect won't be many that would. I don't think there'll be many.
Yeah,
I think that's probably what they've realised. Slate FGX is in fact released. Nice. I'm not using Slate anymore though. I don't spend enough time mixing, but I'm subscribing to PreSonus Sphere. It has all I need, but I'd like to have Slate VXS. Yeah, FGX has been around for years, but it's the FGX2 or the latest version. Rock on Gibbo says, it seems to me that Rob Chapman has lost his way a little bit. It's a real shame. He used to be one of my favorite guitar YouTubers. It is a shame. I don't know what happened.
Power.
Maybe. It'd be nice to have a chat with him to find out.
What did they say? Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts. Yeah.
Al says, good evening, chaps. Hope we are both well. Bit late to the party tonight. Any update on your computer, Paul? No, nothing now, I'm afraid. But not an issue. I'm not going to let it get me down. Mark's gas station. Greetings, Mark. Okay, Michael P. Corey now owns Dodd. Who's Corey?
Yep. The Chinese company, I think.
Wow. Hollywood says, I felt the same about Dodd. That was poor man's boss, but a lot of pro guitarists used them in the 80s, 90s. Oh, there we go. Yep. Corey. Okay, Michael P. Aristotle's. I'm really late, sorry, but about iCase Tonex, people use Kemper because it's de facto thing in the backline. So all you have to do is bring a USB stick and you're good to go. That is very true. That is a very good point. Stupid computer, Court. Yes, Court.
I'd be really scared about turning up. Even if someone had said, "Oh, there's a Kemper here, just bring your profiles," that would scare me to death.
It is really good though. It's a very easy thing. You just put your USB stick in.
But it would still scare me to death.
Oh, I don't think it would scare me. I mean, I'm quite used to having Kempers and had a few. Shep says UAD plugins always start their life as native and then converted to run on DSP. It's interesting.
I'm not. I'm not going to comment on that, but certainly I know that I know enough of the team at UA to they've never given.
Yeah, both me and James have done lots of work for UA in the past, and I've never been told that. I'm not saying it's wrong. Michael says live is a chemistry interaction. Tone is a fiddle. The knobs after dark. There we go.
Indeed.
Nice. Should be Wampler Boivado. Why Boivado?
Don't know. Is it Wampler? A bit like if Jonathan Ross was saying it.
I see, but yeah. Tim says, my daughter bought me a PRS SE McCarthy 594 for my birthday. Nice. Very excited. Wow, that's a nice present, mate. Nice one.
Awesome.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Boyle says, face green smiling. Is crowd A Still Q&A. How you guys feel about wenge necks? God, I don't think I've ever seen. I've only ever seen a wenge neck on a
base.
or wenge on bases. They used to be
Yeah.
big in the 80s and 90s.
I've still got the bases I made have streams of maple. There's maple, wengy, wenge, maple, weng. It's a 7-piece neck, and it's
Nice.
beautiful. I've only ever seen it on bases, never seen it on 6 strings.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. I'm sure there are.
It's very light and it's very strong.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it right? Oh, interesting.
But it's also really it's quite it's apparently it's a carcinogen when you work it.
Oh, interesting.
So it's not very popular these days because of cancer.
Yeah. Vinny, he's in the house. He says he's right on the money. I've owned at least 20 Kiesels. They're made really well. Can't beat them for the price. But there we go. And it looked like he's playing on one there as well.
Yeah, nice.
Max says Kiesel kind of used to be carving. Yes, I recall. Seen a few in the UK. Yeah, I've seen carvings because carvings were quite a big 80s brand. And yes, I think Carvin was the dad. And Kiesel's now the son, taking over and changed the name.
But Carvin made amazing PA power amps in the day.
Yeah. The only thing about Carvin, well, they put carpet on them, didn't they? There should be like that grey carpet around them.
No, on the speaker, on the cabs, but on the actual power amp, they were epic.
Were they?
Oh, properly good stuff, like touring grade stuff.
Oh, right. Yes, Kiesel was run by the son of Carvin, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they were Carvin changed the name back to Kiesel. They changed the name back to Kiesel 2012. Look at that. Paul's mic is going a bit Davros now and then.
It is. He's trying something new. I've been ignoring it.
Oh, I'm going with Davros. That's not a bad thing, though, is it?
It's a nice part of Greece. So I've been invited to Sofia in Bulgaria.
Oh yeah.
They said come for a couple of days and then tag a holiday on. You can drive down to Greece from Sofia in not very long, or head for the Black Sea. And I'm like, okay, maybe not the Black Sea right now.
Why not the Black Sea right now?
Quite close to Ukraine.
Yeah, it's not that close.
Yeah, but it's close enough that the Russian fleet are in the Black Sea.
Oh, okay. Right,
but I said the chances of me getting any more than a couple of nights away in the summer is pretty remote. I said, bring the family. I was like, okay.
Thomas says I have the Valton GP100. Nice.
I read that as I have the Vatican, but clearly that's not quite the same.
Nice. It's brilliant. It does acoustic and bass too. There we go. 1 unit for playing everything through headphones.
Yeah, we like that.
Thomas, I'm usually using the SnarlingDog.88 plectrums. Your episode on the Dunlop flows may be interested in them. I've got a variety pack and didn't expect the 2 to become my favourite. Thanks, Paul. I haven't tried the 2s. I will give that a go. Cheers, Thomas. I will definitely try that. Kenneth knows.
Hang on.
Lee, is your GT1 now no longer your go-to Multiflex for live? It's the new one you showed. It's the new one you showed.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Yeah. Good evening, Paul and James. Have you guys heard Sean Lane? He's really great. Regards. I have.
That name's cropped up twice this week for me.
Has it?
Different things that I can't talk about. Yeah. So yes, I have heard of him.
Awesome. Lee, Hollywood, been using the Valton for the last few weeks. GT1 is still here, and maybe it's worth alternating them both with some variation.
Mm-hmm.
Ned, sorry, I meant the FGX2 is out. Sells for €200. Ooh, not cheap. GT1 is incredible for the price. For live, it sounds great, direct, and for recording, just turn off the cab in it and use it as an IR. There we go.
Nice.
Dave says, my Chapman ML3 Pro is superior in build quality to my Fender American Thinline Elite at a third of the cost. Nice. But there we go. Al says, I heard PJB, based near me in Beverley, East Yorkshire, was potentially building Chapman Guitars. Not sure how true that rumor is. Yeah, that's what I heard, and I don't know if it's PJD that have gone down. I don't know what's happened, but I thought they were doing all right. Michael says, what overdrive pedal? OD3, BD2, overdrive pedal. My favorite overdrive pedal at the moment, and it has been for quite some time, is the Earthquaker Devices Palisades. It is so good.
TC Spark, great pedal.
It's not an overdrive pedal.
It is. Oh, it's a boost pedal, isn't it? It's a boost
It's
pedal.
a boost. It's a boost.
All right, overdrive.
Come on, there's only one. What's the best overdrive pedal you got on that board?
Well, the Governor's not. Governor's Distortion.
I would let's just go with that because I think that's a cracking pedal.
That pedal is that's probably the best pedal I own.
It's not distortion. It doesn't get like the fuzz on the fuzz distortion-y tones. It's a very sort of tight distortion overdrive pedal. It's not like a Rat or anything.
No, it's probably the best. It's probably the best pedal I own by a country mile. So
yeah, I'd go like high gain overdrive on that. Anyway, Eric Warrington, Lee, dude, right on. I've been bragging about the GT1 for years. I've currently been using it into a Katana Mark II, 50 power, and have a massive amount of analog pedals and gear. It's so much.
A lot of people telling us about the Carvin keys.
Oh, family split. Carvin's name was kept by Uncle for Carvin Audio and guitars with rebranded keys. Look at that. How are we doing and how many more to go?
We are going to get there. We'll get there. No problem at all.
Okay, if Boss refreshed the GT1 to take IRs, it would clean up. Interesting. Evening, chaps. Just got the Vertex SSS SRV pedal. Sounds brilliant. Now looking for a Strat style guitar, possibly HSS pickup config. Budget around 1,000. Any advice? That's a shame. I've got an HSS custom shop Strat, but unfortunately not that price.
A bit more than that. Yeah.
Yes. Budget around 1,000. Maybe have a look at those courts that Lee's playing. I mean, it's going to be less than that.
A lot less.
I'm trying to think for 1,000, or maybe have a look at some of the PRS Silver Sky SEs. I think they sound really good.
Okay.
Eric, John, I have a 2020 made in Mexico player Strat in limited edition Candy Redburst and HSS. It's amazing. There we go.
Nice.
There we go. Good advice. Ned, I suggest Shiji. I'll go on myself. It's as close as you can get to a custom shop for a very reasonable price. Al says, yeah, PJD is still going strong. Interesting.
Good.
That is interesting. So I wonder if there was a falling out. Wish you guys a good night. Signing off, says Thomas. Cheers, Thomas. Always nice to have you on.
And you, mate.
Thomas. Max. TJ Mojo of Dan Electro.
Yes, Mojo is a good pedal. I did have one, but I got rid of it.
Isn't that a Mojo? Isn't that like a Klon style pedal?
I believe so.
Or is the Mojo? Was that the Marshall style pedal?
I can never remember.
Okay, I've got so many pedals. I need to have a pedal clear out. James Ivey, Life as Native, straight out of Connor Cummins' mouth on an Office Hours stream.
Wow, okay, didn't know that. There you go.
Player Strat.
Yep.
Charvel or Schecter, HSS or Jet. Good choices all round.
Charvel, for me.
I'd go for the Charvel on that one as well.
We are there. Well done, everyone.
Yay.
We made it through another week. We are off to Manchester this weekend. It'll be very exciting. Lots of not enough sleep, too much work, and too much screaming. And that will just be me and Paul probably telling Greg to stop snoring. Other than
I'm
that,
not sharing a room with them.
Other than that, we will see you next week for more of the same. Stay safe, everyone. Have a good week. Keep your questions and all that sort of stuff coming in. We'll see you this time next week for another Q&A. Good night, everyone. Take care, and we'll see you soon.
Cheers, guys.